The three great Dojutsu stand as some of the most infamous abilities within the Naruto verse and are icon staples of the series. All three are recognizable in their own rights and boast impressive amounts of power. The Sharingan, Rinnegan and Byakugan make up the trio of the great three Dojutsu, renowned amongst even the most capable shinobi as abilities not to be taken lightly. Hey guys, Luke06 here, and in this video I'll be combining all of my three great Dojutsu videos into a longer extended version. Most of what you'll see will be the same as in the individual videos, maybe there'll be a few minor changes here and there, but still with all the relevant information covered. There will be timestamps on the video and in the description if there's any specific part you want to skip to. Alternatively, all the individual videos will also be linked in the description for ease of access purposes. So, with all that said, let's explain all the information you need to know about the three great Dojutsu.
俺は内葉サスケ、お前はここで消える。そのシャリンガン、お前はどこまで見えている？思った通りだ。俺の心には何もありゃしない。そうか、こいつの能力は。痛みを知らぬ者に本当の平和は分からん。世界に痛みを。分かっただろう。お前に勝ち目はない。
The Sharingan is a visual Kekkei Genkai specific to the Uchiha clan. First instance of the awakening of the Sharingan as an independent dojutsu was by Indra Otsutsuki. Through the descendants of Indra, the Uchiha clan was formed and the Sharingan became an inherited trait of the clan. The Sharingan in appearance turns the irises of the user red when activated, while adding an inner ring into their irises that hold 1 to 3 tomoes placed on the ring that depends on how much the individual has evolved it. These three make up the base Sharingan. Members of the Uchiha clan don't have the innate ability to access the Sharingan from birth or even as they grow up. The awakening of the Sharingan is a result of the person experiencing a powerful emotion like extreme grief, sadness or joy. Through these emotions, the brains of the members of the Uchiha clan release a special type of chakra unique to them that affects the optic nerves, which transforms their eye into the Sharingan. The evolution of the base Sharingan comes in 3 forms, being the 1 tomoe, the 2 tomoe, and the 3 tomoe Sharingan. Upon awakening, the user typically only has 1 tomoe, however in rare instances the user can gain 2 tomoe on their awakening. Once awakened, the Sharingan can be evolved through the same process of experiencing extreme conditions or powerful emotions. The fully matured Sharingan can be seen with a 3rd tomoe. The Sharingan can be transplanted into those who aren't Uchiha, however the chakra toll on those not born naturally with it is heavy and they are also unable to deactivate it. This leads many who have transplanted Sharingan to only have one of the eyes and to keep the eye covered to reduce chakra drainage. This means that the full potential of the Sharingan can only be awakened by those of the Uchiha clan who possess 2 Sharingan. All of the abilities of the Sharingan are available to the user from the moment they awaken it. The evolution of the Sharingan doesn't provide more abilities, rather it increases the proficiency of the abilities, such as with every evolution expands on the user's perception. The Sharingan grants 2 broad abilities, being Insight and Hypnotism. Being known as the Eye of Insight, somebody with the Sharingan can see internal chakra flows of others, and can see chakra through some obstructions. They can also see abnormalities in somebody's chakra flow, such as when a person is put under a genjutsu, which is an illusion. The users of the Sharingan are also granted incredible clarity of perception, giving the user the ability to mimic the movements of others almost flawlessly and read lips. Once fully developed, the perception of the 3 tomoe Sharingan allows the user some level of predictive abilities. They can see the next movements of a person based on the tension in their muscles. This gives them the ability to act accordingly to somebody's next move in a fight, such as dodge or counterattack. They can also, through reading hand signs and chakra signatures, predict a person's next jutsu. Along with being able to predict moves, a user of the Sharingan can also copy most genjutsu, ninjutsu and taijutsu abilities with near flawless accuracy, given they have the physical capabilities to perform the jutsu. This usually only takes a one-time glance at the move for the user to be able to replicate it. However, the restriction on this is that the user may not be able to replicate the jutsu to the same magnitude or efficiency if they don't have enough chakra to do so, and they cannot copy Kekkei Genkai or other bloodline inherited techniques. The Sharingan also has hypnotic and illusionary abilities. These abilities are more influential than anything. Through making eye contact, the user has the ability to manipulate and suggest the actions of others through their mind, sometimes with the effect of their actions being completely unaware to the victim, with them believing that the actions they are taking are one of their own accord. This ability can range from being nothing more than a slight influence that may or may not be taken into account by the other person, to full-on body manipulation, with the Sharingan user being able to control the movements and actions of the victim. The sign of somebody who is under this manipulation can be identified by their eyes reflecting the pattern of a Sharingan. Outside the insight and hypnotic abilities of the Sharingan, there are actually two more abilities called the Izanami and the Izanagi. Both of these techniques are extremely powerful, however they can only be used once per Sharingan, as the effect of using it is permanent blindness in both the Sharingan and the normal eye. The Izanagi technique allows a person to warp reality and bring illusions into reality and turn reality into illusions. The Izanagi can only be active for a few seconds and is primarily used as a way to alter destiny to escape death. The Izanami is a genjutsu made to punish those who would use the Sharingan to abuse the Izanagi. The Izanami would capture someone in an infinite mental loop, replaying a moment of events, usually one that includes fighting. This loop is completely inescapable and the victim is aware of the moment replaying constantly as if it were looping in real time, while also being able to sense everything happening in the moment. The only way to escape the Izanami is to be able to accept fate in a sense, as many Izanagi abusers used it as a way to reject and alter their own fate. More so, to escape the Izanami is to come to a term, or realization, and accept whatever the jutsu caster had intended for the person they used the technique on. The Sharingan, after the third Tomoe, has an advanced form, one outside the base 3. This is called the Mangekyo Sharingan, and it has one evolution referred to as the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. The Mangekyo is an extremely rare evolution that few people have ever awakened. The awakening of the Mangekyo Sharingan first requires an Uchiha to fully evolve the base Sharingan into the 3 Tomoe Sharingan. From there, the user needs to experience a great loss or trauma, something that stands as a turning point for them emotionally, such as the death or abandonment of a loved one. From there, the user will awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan. The Mangekyo can be defined and spotted by its change in design from the base. While the irises of the user remain the same red colour, the internal design of the Tomoe switch as they become connected in a pattern that resembles a pinwheel. Unlike the base, everybody with a Mangekyo Sharingan will have a different design and nobody's is the same. The Mangekyo can be switched on and off from the base 3 Tomoe Sharingan, and this also applies to people who have transplanted Sharingan who aren't from the Uchiha clan. The Mangekyo takes a heavy toll on the person's physical state, even to those who are considered true wielders. Overuse of the Mangekyo causes extreme physical pain on the user, as well as quickly depletes their chakra and causes irreparable damage to their eyes. Through the continued use of the Mangekyo, the user will always eventually go blind and lose the ability to access their Sharingan. Even when only used briefly and carefully, every use of the Mangekyo Sharingan will eventually lead closer to blindness. The Mangekyo expands even further upon the user's perceptive and illusionary abilities, while also granting specific abilities that vary from person to person. These abilities usually consist of one or two of them that may be different or connected through their eyes. An example is Sasuke Uchiha, who through his left eye can release Amaterasu, the forever burning black flames. Then, with his right, he can manipulate the form of the flames with Kagutsuchi, or the ability may be in both eyes, such as Shisui Uchiha's Koto Matsukami, which he can activate through either his left or right eye. Some of the most well known of these specific abilities are Sasuke Uchiha, who can use the Amaterasu, which is a black flame considered to be the highest level of fire release. This flame will continually burn forever until the target is burnt to ash or the user casts off the jutsu. He can also use Kagutsuchi with his right eye, which allows him to change the form of the flames. Itachi Uchiha, who can also use the Amaterasu and also use one of the most powerful genjutsu techniques being the Tsukuyomi. This allows him to trap somebody in an illusion world of Itachi's design, where he can even control the passage of time within the genjutsu, making real world seconds feel like days. Obito Uchiha, who has the Kamui, a space-time ninjutsu that allows him to transport himself and anyone or anything of his choosing into a pocket dimension. And Shisui Uchiha's Koto Matsukami, the most powerful genjutsu ability in existence that allows him to perfectly control and manipulate somebody to do basically anything he wants. This goes completely unnoticed to the victim, with them carrying out Shisui's will completely oblivious to the fact that it isn't their own, even being able to provide a person with false experiences. Mangekyo users also have access to the Susanoo, which is considered to be the most powerful ability of the Mangekyo. The Susanoo is a giant humanoid avatar made from the user's chakra that manifests around them that they use to fight with. The Susanoo has a different design, color, and weapon that varies from user to user, as well as several stages that develop before the full body humanoid Susanoo. These are the skeletal Susanoo, then the humanoid Susanoo with muscles and skin on their upper half, the armored Susanoo where it manifests armor around the skin, then finally the complete body Susanoo where it manifests legs and wings with a full set of armor. At this stage, the Susanoo is able to fly and has around comparable chakra to the tail beasts and is similar in size to them too. Every evolution of the Susanoo buffs all the stats of the form, increasing strength, speed, and durability. While each Susanoo basically functions the same, the weapons used by the Susanoo are different from each other. For example, Kakashi's Susanoo uses the Kamui Shurikens, Madara's Susanoo uses a sword, Sasuke's Susanoo uses a bow, and AnarchY's Susanoo uses the Totsuka Blade and Yata Mirror. The Totsuka Blade being an advanced sealing jutsu and the Yata Mirror being able to negate all attacks. Lastly to cover is the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. The Eternal Mangekyo is basically the same as a normal Mangekyo, however the difference is that with the Eternal, the user of the Mangekyo negates the eventual blindness caused by the users of it. This means that somebody with the Eternal Mangekyo can continually use it without needing to worry about it leading to blindness. To achieve the Eternal, a user of the Mangekyo needs to transplant the eyes of an Uchiha with strong blood ties who also possesses a Mangekyo into their own. This will, in a sense, merge the two eyes, granting the user with the ability from both of them, as well as near completely removing the overall fatigue caused by the Mangekyo. The Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan is the most advanced form of the Dojutsu and has only been achieved by two people, being Sasuke Uchiha, who took his brother Itachi's eyes, and Madara Uchiha, who took his brother Izuna's eyes.
弥彦の痛みを忘れない。世界に痛みを。神羅転生。
The Rinnegan is a visual Kekkei Genkai and is the rarest of the three great Dojutsus, not being possessed by a descendant clan of the Otsutsukis, but rather possessed by the clan itself. The Rinnegan is also considered to be the most powerful and exalted eye, considered superior to the Sharingan and Byakugan. The first instance of the awakening of the Rinnegan as an independent Dojutsu on Earth was by Hagoromo Otsutsuki. The Rinnegan in appearance turns the eye of the user usually purple. However, it's been shown on a few occasions that members of the Otsutsuki clan can have blue, red, or even golden Rinnegan. Along with the solid colour to their eyes, the Rinnegan also has concentric circles covering the eyeball. The Rinnegan to awaken is a lot more complex than the Sharingan. If not born naturally with it, the Rinnegan can only be awakened under one condition, being that somebody with a Sharingan possesses the chakra of Hagoromo Otsutsuki, or merges the chakra of his sons Indra and Ashura inside of them. This will transform the Sharingan into the Rinnegan. In the story, the only two people to have awakened the Rinnegan that weren't naturally born as Otsutsuki were Sasuke and Madara. Sasuke's left Eternal Mangekyo was transformed into the Tomoe Rinnegan after receiving one half of Hagoromo Otsutsuki's chakra. And Madara, as a reincarnation of Indra Otsutsuki, implanted some of Hashirama's flesh into himself, with Hashirama being an Ashuran reincarnation. This awakened Madara's pair of Rinnegan, however this only happened late into Madara's natural life. The Rinnegan, like all Dojutsu, can be transplanted into another person, with them being able to access all the abilities of it at a really high chakra cost. Now, this may get a little complicated, so I'll try to simplify it down into a bit of a cycle. Out of the two Rinnegan awakened in the series, Madara implanted his Rinnegan into a young Nagato Uzumaki, chosen for his high chakra reserves, who then become pain. Once Nagato had died, his Rinnegan was picked up by Obito Uchiha, who transplanted one of the eyes into himself and hid the other one as he couldn't handle the chakra toll of using double Rinnegan. These, during the war, were then taken back by Madara, one given to him by White Zetsu and one stolen from Obito, completing the cycle to get his Rinnegan back. Madara would then die after Kaguya's resurrection, losing the Rinnegan permanently. So, for a while, Sasuke Uchiha was the only human Rinnegan user in the series. But if you've seen Boruto, you'd realise that it's no longer the case, as Sasuke had his Rinnegan stabbed out with a kunai by Borushiki after their fight against Ishiki. So currently there's actually no human Rinnegan user in the series, with the Rinnegan only belonging to the Otsutsuki clan. The base abilities of the Rinnegan are pretty much the same as the Sharingan, however significantly more advanced and holding a lot more chakra in it. The Rinnegan has incredible visual prowess that exceeds the Sharingan, being able to see finer details and keep up with movements to a higher efficiency. Not only that, but regardless of nature affinity, a user of the Rinnegan can master all 5 of the basic nature releases as well as the jutsus that fall under their respective transformations effortlessly. Similarly to all Dojutsus, the Rinnegan's power and full potential can only be unlocked by the owner of the eyes. As with the Mangekyo Sharingan, it's been seen that some Rinnegan possess abilities that are unique to the individual. Some of these examples are Sasuke Uchiha, who can use the Amenote Chikara, which is an ability that lets Sasuke instantly switch places with an object or person near him. He can also teleport to different dimensions with it by activating portals. Not only that, but Sasuke's Rinnegan has access to all of his Mangekyo abilities. Madara Uchiha, who can use Limbo clones, which are clones of Madara that he can spawn in a different dimension. These clones are invisible to those without some form of 6 Paths chakra or Rinnegan. They can also only be damaged by using 6 Paths chakra. And Momoshiki Otsutsuki, who can use Takumi Musobi no Kami, which allows him to absorb all ninjutsu with his right hand and release an amplified version of it with his left. The 6 Paths techniques are all unique abilities exclusive to all Rinnegan that separate it from any of the other Dojutsus. The 6 Paths techniques are all extremely powerful and vary on their abilities, with each path having its own ability. These are all able to be accessed from a single Rinnegan. The best utilization of these abilities were from Nagato Uzumaki, under the name Pain, when he split the abilities of the Rinnegan's 6 Paths into 6 separate bodies that he controlled through black chakra receivers. The 6 Paths are named the Diva Path, the Ashura Path, the Human Path, the Animal Path, the Praetor Path, and the AnarchY Path. Firstly, the Diva Path of the Rinnegan gives the user the ability to manipulate attractive and repulsive forces. The 3 abilities of this technique are the Almighty Push, where the user produces a circular field around them that repulses and pushes back anything in the vicinity. The Universal Pull, that attracts whatever the user wants within a certain area, be it a person or an object. And the Planetary Devastation, where the user creates a black orb in their palms that creates a powerful attractive pull, pulling up everything in the vicinity until a large body of Earth is formed. The size is usually referred to as a satellite, which means it's around the size of a meteor to the size of the moon. The range and effectiveness of these abilities all depend on the amount of chakra funneled into the techniques. Next, the Ashura Path. The technique of the Ashura Path, to put it simply, is mechanically and scientifically turning your body into a weapon. Through this path, a user of the Rinnegan can change their body to summon a variety of advanced weapons and armor. The user can turn parts of their body into missiles, cannons, and blades for example. They can also summon up to 4 extra arms and 2 extra faces. And then, the Human Path. The Human Path allows the Rinnegan user, on touch, to read the minds of whoever they're touching. Not only that, but they can also just straight up remove a person's soul, effectively killing them in a one-shot move. Next, the Animal Path. Through using the Animal Path, the Rinnegan user can summon a large variety of different animals in a style that's similar to the summoning jutsu. The difference being that no blood contract is made and these summons appear to be mostly immortal. These summons also have their eyes in the pattern of the Rinnegan. And then the Praetor Path. The Praetor Path allows the Rinnegan user to absorb all ninjutsu techniques as well as all other forms of chakra. Usually this is by a barrier around the user that absorbs the chakra of anything that touches it or tries to go through it. Lastly would be the AnarchY Path. The AnarchY Path allows the Rinnegan user to summon the King of Hell. The King of Hell is used for 2 reasons, being interrogation and restoration. When interrogating somebody, the Rinnegan user can use the AnarchY Path to summon the King of Hell before them, when a person gives them an answer. The King of Hell will then grab hold of the person's soul, which appears as a tongue. If the answer the person provided for the question is false, then the King of Hell will rip out their soul and devour it, killing them. If the answer is correct, the person's soul will be let go and they'll be allowed to live. When restoring something or someone, the King of Hell can be summoned and the object or person that's damaged or injured can be placed inside of its mouth, where it gets ingested and soon comes out as fully repaired and healed. And that makes up all of the 6 path techniques. However, there's actually one more path called the outer path. The outer path is the 7th of the 6 paths and has a few uses. Using this path, the user of the Rinnegan has access to the Samsara of Heavenly Life technique. This technique allows the user to revive those who were deceased through the King of Hell, releasing their souls back to their bodies. However, if used, the technique will take the life of the user. Along with this, they are also able to manifest black chakra receivers that they can use to control targets once impaled, or used as an offensive weapon. Lastly, in the outer path, the user gains access to the chakra chains of the Gedo statue. These chains possess a cursed seal and are tightly binding and even strong enough to suppress the power of the tailed beasts.
Rinne の力を持つ者が月に近づきしとき世を照らせ無限つくよみ
The Rinnegan is capable of summoning the Gedo statue, which is the husk of the Ten Tails, being the physical body separated from the chakra held in the tailed beasts. The Gedo statue, as expected by its size, has great physical strength. The Gedo statue is also able to summon phantom dragons out of its mouth that instantly drain the chakra of whoever it touches, as well as chakra chains to restrain the tailed beasts. This was mainly used as a way to extract tailed beast chakra out of the Jinchurikis to seal within the statue. The main goal for those who summoned it was to funnel all of the chakra of the tailed beasts into the Gedo statue to awaken the Ten Tails and become its Jinchuriki, also something that's only capable with the Rinnegan. Once achieved, the Ten Tails Jinchuriki with the double Rinnegan can awaken the Rinne-Sharingan. The Rinnegan is needed to be able to awaken the Rinne-Sharingan, the originator and predecessor of the Sharingan and the Rinnegan. The Rinne-Sharingan, in appearance, is a red Rinnegan that appears on the person's forehead that also has tomoe patterns around it with the amount varying. While not having a concrete answer for how to awaken the Rinne-Sharingan, it's said that when a person who possesses their own double Rinnegan approaches the moon, they awaken the Rinne-Sharingan. The Rinne-Sharingan's most powerful and prominent ability is the ability to be able to cast the Infinite Tsukiyomi, the most powerful genjutsu ability that places everyone and every animal population on the planet into a dream world where they get to live out what they perceive to be their perfect lives. The genjutsu is one specific to the Rinne-Sharingan that's reflected off of the moon, with whoever gazes upon it being affected. This genjutsu allows the God Tree, which in a sense is the form of a fully mature Ten Tails, to siphon the chakra out of all living creatures on the planet, eventually leading the tree to bore chakra fruit. After a long period of time, those captured by the God Tree lose their characteristics, becoming White Zetsu. The Byakugan is a visual Kekkei Genkai possessed by the Otsutsuki clan, as well as passed down to the Hyuga clan by Hamura Otsutsuki. In appearance, the Byakugan is a solid blank white color, and when activated, it enlarges the irises of the user, as well as causes the veins on the side of their temples to bulge. Unlike the Sharingan and Rinnegan, the Byakugan doesn't need to go through an awakening process, and those born of the Hyuga and Otsutsuki clan can access it from birth. The Byakugan, however, does have one evolution called the Tenseigan. This happens in a process where somebody from the Otsutsuki clan transplants the Byakugan of a Hyuga into themselves. This, over the course of a couple of days, awakens the Tenseigan. Just like the other Dojutsus, the Byakugan can be transplanted into those who want Hyuga or Otsutsuki with a high chakra cost. However, it's been seen with those who have transplanted Byakugan that they are able to activate it and deactivate it at their own will. It's very rare to see a transplanted Byakugan, as most, if not all Hyuga have a cursed seal on their forehead that destroys the Byakugan when they die, and it's near on impossible to get one from an Otsutsuki considering their enormous strength and that very few ever make their way onto Earth. Those who possess the Byakugan have visual prowess that exceeds the Sharingan. While not necessarily being considered the stronger of the two, the Byakugan can pick up and see details to a much finer degree, as well as being able to have a greater field of vision and range. Those with the Byakugan have an almost 360 degree field of vision, being able to see things outside their line of sight, with the exception of a blind spot behind the neck of the user only being a couple degrees or so. As expected, the use of only one Byakugan will provide half of the field of vision. The Byakugan can see through almost any obstruction, being able to see through walls, appear on the ground, and even see through a person's body as well as their contents. The user can focus themselves on anything within the Byakugan's range, being able to monitor certain people from afar and quickly survey a vast area. The range a person can see varies and can be increased through training. Neji, in part 1 of the original Naruto series, was able to see about 50 meters from his position. During Shippuden, this range was increased to 800. As an adult, Hinata was able to see a massive 20 kilometers, and it said that Kaguya's Byakugan could see most of the planet. As expected by its visual prowess, the Byakugan can see chakra to a finer degree than the Sharingan. It can distinguish clones, and the types of clones, from the original, and even be able to specify specific people's chakra signatures. The Byakugan has the ability to see a complete, clear detailed map of a person's chakra pathways and the 361 Tenketsu. The Tenketsu being 361 points on the body, being the size of a needle, where chakra is expelled from the body to perform jutsu. As a result of this ability, the Hyuga have developed a fighting style which revolves around the manipulation of a person's Tenketsu to control their chakra flow. This is known as the Gentle Fist. The Byakugan is also able to tell if somebody is under the manipulation of a Genjutsu by reading their chakra. However, unlike the Sharingan, the Byakugan seems to not provide any resistance to the effects of a Genjutsu. Genjutsus, however, can be amplified and see an increase in range from the Byakugan. This allows Kaguya, using her infinite Tsukiyomi, to subjugate entire nations. Momoshiki also stated that his Byakugan can read the fate of others, however, he cannot read his own. The Gentle Fist is a fighting style developed by the Hyuga clan that takes advantage of the Byakugan's ability to see the chakra pathways and Tenketsu of a person. This style of combat causes internal damage to the person's organs that are closely linked to the person's chakra pathways. Through this fighting style, the user will surgically inject small portions of their own chakra into the Tenketsu and flow it through their target. The slightest tap can cause severe internal damage, hence the name of the fighting style being the Gentle Fist. The fighting style focuses on inflicting the highest amount of damage with the least amount of energy spent. This has led it to become notorious for being the most fearsome taijutsu style in a hidden leaf. Experienced users of the Gentle Fist are able to manipulate the flow of chakra outside a person's Tenketsu, either forcibly opening them or closing them. By opening them, they can cause the chakra of a target to unwillingly flow out of the points targeted. By closing them, they can stop the flow of chakra out of the Tenketsu, which in some cases can lead to a person not being able to perform any jutsu techniques. The Gentle Fist is also capable of destroying any chakra-based substance. This is done by the user leaking chakra out of the Tenketsu in their hands and moulding it into the shape of a needle to cut through chakra. However, this technique can be done by leaking chakra anywhere in the body, making binding techniques through chakra essentially useless. Some of the most well-known Gentle Fist techniques include the 8 trigrams, 64 palms. This is where the user envisions themselves at the center of an 8 trigram symbol, where they will then deliver a series of attacks within the area of the symbol to close off 64 of the opponent's Tenketsu. The 8 trigrams palms revolve in heaven, where the user leaks chakra from all their Tenketsu, then spins rapidly to repel all incoming attacks. And also the gentle step, twin lion fists, where the user will leak chakra from the Tenketsu in their hands and mold it into the shape of 2 lion heads. This increases both range and destructive abilities, as well as drains the opponent's chakra.
Naruto, 貴様の世界を終わらせてやる。
The Tenseigan is an advanced evolution of the Byakugan. The Tenseigan can be achieved through the process of an Otsutsuki transplanting the Byakugan of a Hyuga into themselves, over the course of a couple days awakening the Tenseigan. In appearance, the Tenseigan resembles the Byakugan in a way, losing the featureless white color and gaining a blue hue with a flowery pattern. As the Tenseigan is only explored in Naruto, the last movie, not a whole lot is known about it. However, we can guess that it provides the same abilities as the Byakugan, if not to a more advanced level. What we do know though is the Tenseigan gives the user access to the Tenseigan chakra mode. The Tenseigan chakra mode gives the user a cloak of cyan coloured chakra that we can assume highly amplifies the strength of the user. Along with this, we saw Toneri gain 9 Truth Seeker orbs along with the ability to fly. He was able to keep up with the Sage mode enhanced to 9 Tails chakra mode Naruto, and was also able to split the entire moon in half. And that's the end of all of the 3 great dojutsus explained. Now, I understand this is in a sense a re-upload of my previous videos, just combined into a longer version. The reason I decided to post this is for 2 main reasons. Firstly, as you guys may have noticed, the upload gap between my videos has started getting longer. The main reason for this is because as I'm branching out to new styles of videos, I don't have any set way for how I want to approach them. Explaining powers is easier and quicker as I've already set my own method and style of doing it. Currently, I'm looking towards my next video being Luffy versus the major antagonist of the Naruto verse. I wanted to post this video because I didn't want to leave you guys hanging this week with no content. Also, through uploading this, I hope for it to reach more people. Not people just focused on one of the 3, but maybe interested in the power system altogether or the series as a whole. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate it if you can drop a like and a sub. And that's all for me, so I hope you guys have a good week.